What is up, everybody? I am back. I am doing another vlog. I know there's been a lot more that's happened than just Dragon Con, but that's what we're going to focus on here because it was amazing. So let's get this show on the road, starting with the introductions to the Farscape 20th Reunion panel.
It's Sunday morning, next, we're going to bring out, you loved him as Craze, or you kind of love to hate him as Craze, Lenny Tubu! You didn't get to see much because he was behind the scenes creating a down show, Rock Neo Bandit! It's Sunday morning. A name you're all familiar with. He's a good friend and my boss, Brian Henson. Hey. I know, so just sitting here, I'm just basically mirroring what we did yesterday, just to keep them away. All right. I hope he's back there, because yesterday he surprised us. The fellow we all learned the show was about. And not just according to him. John Crichton, Ben Broder! Anthony Simcoe! I'm your daddy! Oh, very Empire Strikes Back of you. Wait, now you got it. All right. Last but surely not least, coming up, Grayza, the beautiful, the alluring, the alliterative, Rebecca Rick!
So, technically speaking, I met up with Liz before the Farscape panel, but I wanted to lead with the video. So this is Liz. She's one of my roleplay friends. She roleplays Noctis Lucius Caim, and I roleplay Nyx Ulrich. So it is fantastic. We go very well together, and she has a little dragon named Nyx. This right here is simply a light that I got very concerned for, more or less. More so concerned for the electrician that had to change the upper level of those lights until I realized it is simply a mirror. Next up was the One Punch Man panel, in which I sat really far back, and it made me sad, because this One Punch Man panel starred Max Mittelman, Robbie Daymond, and Ray Chase, in which here's a clearer picture of them, because I got it a little bit better. I then went through and tried to take pictures of them individually, most specifically Max, because I just really like Max. We all know this. This is not new information. And then these two I couldn't really get individually because they were sitting so close together. So there's just Robbie and Ray. It was great fun. Max tried to beatbox. And, you know, I did get a little bit of him beatboxing, but I started recording right as he finished. It was Wii music, so that was a fun time. Next up was these pictures that Rachel wanted signed. So this is a Persona 5 picture, obviously, and I went to Max to get it signed. The second one is a picture of all of them as a border where you can put text in the middle, and Robbie signed this one. I almost said Ray. It was not Ray. Robbie called it a cursed image. It was hilarious. He vlogged about that, and if it gets included in his vlog when that comes out, I will link it below. And finally, we have this one of Noctis Lucius Caim. Noxious Luciu Skyrim, Ray's Final Fantasy XIV character, in which, yes, it's just Noctis. Next up, meeting the boys. Aside from getting their autographs for my sister, I got selfies with them, and oh my gosh. When I first laid eyes on Max, my heart skipped a beat. It was ridiculous. I was so excited. And then, of course, I get up to him, I talk to him, I get the picture signed for Rachel. It's all great, and I get the selfie, and we take this one, and it's cool. Then we take this one, and he's just we review the pictures, and he's like, oh, ew, why is my tongue out? I think it's a cute picture, but he wasn't very pleased with it. So we took two more. Both of them basically look like this one. I did not notice the woman in the background. It's just kind of photobombing. She was later involved with helping with the lava show, so. And then we have Ray next up. He was so calm and so good. And I don't understand how someone has that much of a calming aura, but he does. And it's fantastic. And I was super chill talking to him. My hand was still shaking like crazy because I was excited. Just not just as much with him as I was with Max, let's be real here. I was still excited, and it was still hard to hold the camera steady. But he recognized the drawing, first of all, so Rachel was super excited about that. And then also, he suggested I cosplay Crow, because I was talking about, like, role-playing Nyx, and I like Kingsglaive a lot, and he's just like, you should cosplay Crow, you'd make a good Crow. So now that's on my cosplay list. And last but not least, Robbie Damon. He is a vlogger, much like myself, except he actually does a lot more videos than I do. I'm bad at that. But at least I didn't take 7 months to upload content. I got it after 4 months. It's fine. He's great, though. He called my sister's image cursed. It was hilarious. Like I said, if that gets included in his video, I will link it below. And then he did this silly little thing and put his hat upon my head and then looked distressed. Thankfully, he, unlike the other two, actually took the camera from me, so I wasn't worried about it shaking. And then he also pulled Morg into a selfie because he's cool like that. And he wanted us all included, and I love him. Then we went back to Morg's apartment for a while because we were tired. I had been up since 4 a.m., took naps, and Morg's roommate's dog decided I'm not allowed to move. Finally, though, the event of the night, the lava show, live. It's so good. I got to sit on the third row, so I was super close to the front. It was great. But because the show is an 18+ show, they did not allow us to take pictures during the show. Aside from this selection of 30 seconds worth of pictures, I didn't include everything, but here's some of the highlights. So throughout the whole show, they were doing all sorts of crazy things, as they do. It's lava. What else do we expect? And they had volunteers because it's an improv show. You can't do improv without volunteers. So me being the theater student I am, I of course volunteered for everything until such a time as I got picked, which was I think around the third game. Unfortunately, the game I got selected for was not actually an improv game so much as just a game. I mean, it's still great. It was still lovely. When Max was selecting volunteers, he just kind of looked at me and was like, have I picked you yet? And I shake my head no. And so he then takes me up. It just leads me by the hand like a prince. It was amazing. And the game I end up involved in is basically just a game of hot potato, except we did not have a potato, we had a dildo, so that was fun. I lost. I was out in like the first round, I believe it was, but Robbie gave me a hug, led me off to the side to wait till the game was over. It was still so much fun. It was absolutely ridiculous. It was amazing. I do not have the words to explain, honestly. And after the game, not after the show, they gave me this print because, hey, I participated. It's cool. It's a print signed by all three of them, though, so, like, that's best participation prize ever. After the show, though, alas, we had to go back to the apartment. It was late. We were all very tired. So we went back, played with the noodle for a bit because Morg has snakes and I love them. And also at the end of the show, I got this t-shirt and it was great and they signed it and